Hi,
Hi,
Colin.
Chris.
What are you
Hi.
cooking today?
Today we are doing Mee Jawa from the Meal's Kitchen. So it will be a luxe version of something very popular in Penang.
So Mee Jawa is like mee rebus.
Similar to Mee Rebus
Okay.
from the Indian Muslim community.
Okay. So I think it's very much a Nonya dish as well. I think.
I think definitely a very Malaysian dish claimed by Malaysians, Indian Muslims.
So everyone's got a different name for it, but it's basically a tomato-based prawn stock noodle dish.
Noodle
Okay.
dish, yeah. So with lots of
Anyway,
interesting garnishes.
I think it's very simple to make, but let's see whether you can make it easier.
Sure. We're going to start off with, so we have as a soup base, a chicken stock running. So we have some prawn heads that have been fried off to make it caramelize and have a stronger flavor as well, to improve the flavor. So that's added and simmered to get a better stock.
I normally would bake that first, put it in the oven. Yeah.
True,
it's
that's
easy.
easier as well. That saves a lot more work.
For the
less
modern
grease.
kitchen.
For a modern kitchen, we can do that.
Okay.
So with that, we make a simple rempah base of these ingredients here, which we have garlic, shallots, red chilies, dried chilies that need to be soaked and reconstituted, and some dried shrimps for extra flavor.
Now that looks like a lot of work. I think you can use big onions, can't you?
You can,
Yeah.
yes. So that will make it a lot easier as well, less peeling.
Paste, right?
But very therapeutic to peel onions, I think, and shallots.
I think I find other therapy much better.
I think my old chef, when we saw him in the kitchen peeling shallots, he was thinking, so we just left him alone. That was what it does. So we get to make a paste in this. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the additional ingredient in this rempah is basically the dried shrimps, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
For added flavor.
Yes, more stronger, because we're not using belacan. Normally with curries we use belacan or something. So this
Right.
is using a
That's the umami
shrimp-
flavor being put in
shrimp
there.
paste. So we get the rempah that we've mixed up, blended. So then this is fried in some oil. So just let this cook through. So this is all fried off, and then we will add some sort of key flavorings, which would be
Tomato base. So this is tomato soup.
Tomato soup we've added.
And
There's tomato puree,
so like the Italian ones.
tin tomato puree, tin
Okay.
tomato soup. So this is added into. Yeah, this will give the sour agent the sweetness out of it as well. So as that, we will add some.
So probably the Dutch brought that to Java to start off with, for it to be called Java. Because you said that mee bandung is very similar.
Very similar to
So
this
obviously
as well.
arrived in Java earlier than here.
Yeah, so the Dutch and the Portuguese would have brought tomatoes over, from
And the
Europe.
sweet potatoes.
And sweet potatoes too. So this is mashed or pureed. If you want to put it in a food processor, liquidized, you get a much smoother paste.
No,
So
it's not
boiled-
pumpkin, right? It looks
no,
like
it's
pumpkin.
boiled orange sweet potato. You can add pumpkin. So in terms of vegetarian option, because without the stock, you can use pumpkin puree. So this is a sweet potato puree is added. So the stock that was boiled earlier is then strained off. So you get the prawn flavored chicken stock added into
So
this.
what you put in basically sweet and spicy so far.
Sweet, spicy.
And then you'll be putting in the
We'll be
salty
adding
taste.
some, so a little Chinese ingredient.
So the sour agent was in there with the tomato.
Tomatoes. So we have some umami flavor. So this a little bit of soy sauce and a little bit of oyster sauce. Okay, a bit more savory and more umami
Right. So
flavors.
there's a lot of different flavors in there.
Yes.
It's the spicy, the sweet, the salty, and sour.
Yeah. So this
hasn't got bitter. That's all.
no. So this is allowed to cook through and boil, and then
Yeah.
if you want to add more salt or sugar,
So to season to taste.
please your seasoning to taste. You can do that. So let this cook through. In the meantime, we can blanch up some noodles.
So the noodles you're using here are egg noodles, right?
We have egg noodles here.
Or you're called Hokkien noodles as
Yeah,
well.
that's right. Yeah, we've got this Hokkien noodles. I suppose you could use any type of
Noodles. Yeah. But this is traditionally this.
Yeah,
sort of,
traditionally it's always used, and some people add rice noodles, a bihun into it as well. So that's up to personal preferences.
So the noodles are already cooked, aren't they?
They are. It's just a case of
Yeah,
blanching
blanching,
it
okay.
through as well.
What's your earliest memory of eating this? Where did you eat this first of all in Penang?
I remember it was in New Lane, by Brisbane Central.
Okay.
That area. That was my
What,
very first
with,
memories.
with the hawker stalls
The
there?
hawker sauce on the street, yes.
I think I remembered mine was in 𝒂𝒔 in Penang Road.
Right?
And Mee Jawa was always sold by the Chinese. And I think that Mee Rebus is when you have them with the Indian Muslim men who were selling them as part of the mee goreng stall, right? These have Mee Rebus and Mee Goreng.
Sauce. Yes, they had that. Yeah. So we're going to use the plate. Chris, would you like to talk about the plate?
Okay, these are traditionally I remember they were always served in these European soup plates. These are the European soup plates, right? These are Johnson, Irene. I think there's opera pattern as well. These are my grandmother's plates, but I think that's how I earliest memory of remembering how they were served. Did you put any tauge in there?
Not yet. I will do. I will do. Let me get rid of this a bit.
Okay. And some green vegetables. Oh, you put them in separately so that because they take different times.
Times for cooking processes. So
Okay. So this is not a special. This is a daily dish on the Muse Cafe menu because it's very popular, right?
it is. So it's available every day at Muse Cafe. So the garnishes we're going to use today. So poached chicken breast is added to it. We can have some prawns.
I remember the Chinese stores had char siu on them as well.
Oh, I didn't have that. No, there's tofu, some fried tofu.
Yeah.
We added into it as well.
Wow.
Then we
And the
can-
egg. There's always an egg there.
An egg, yes.
Don't forget the egg.
Forgot about that. The egg.
The quartered eggs, yes. I'm supposed to make it more contemporary. You can just boil them at how many degrees so that they're still runny? the yolks.
Oh, the yolks. This is more classic, traditional.
Actually, I was trying to do some research into this dish, and there's not very much information except that the Indian Muslims and the Peranakan Chinese were like this dish and were associated with this dish. And I think that given that the southern Peranakan Chinese, which is the Malacca and Singapore Nonias, would have had a lot of the influences from Java in the Riau Islands.
Right.
I think that this dish may have come from the south because in Penang the influences are much more from the Thai side.
But this is very popular in Penang, I think.
Yeah, but they were all interchanging recipes in those days, I think.
Yes. And how about recipes? So we have some spring onions as a garnish as well.
Right.
You can throw a few flakes of chili on top.
Oh, the color looks good there.
Yeah. Just a sprig of coriander. And quintessential, the fried shallots.
And they always had something crispy for the texture. So I think we can use all sorts of crispy things, like even possibly papadums, but we have we use traditionally a vegetable fritter, right?
Yes. So here we've
chuchu
got
udang.
chuchu udang.
Yes.
So there are different variation. They just some it's just they use a plain dough to have it something quite crispy on top. But this is chuchu udang with vegetables, prawns, fritters to go with this.
Well, it looks absolutely delicious. So thank you. I think it's great. What are we doing next week?
Next week we're going to work on nasi ulam. So
Right.
we're going to get lots of herbs from the gardens that we can use to prepare nasi ulam.
I remember nasi ulam was very, very laborious.
Lots of cutting.
Now you need to use find a shortcut method to that.
But good therapy, I think.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.